You know, you're who you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you're a jackass, you're a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you're a fly-by-night, you're a fly-by-night. If you think you're a great winemaker, you're going to be a great winemaker because you are what you think about.
Yeah. Wow.
So
It's such simple thoughts, but man, is it cut to the core,
yeah,
right? Man,
yeah.
I can tell you, Charlie, I'm so grateful for what you've done for me in my life. There's a few key people in my life. Yourself, Bill Yoder, Gus Picarello, my mom, Tom Denneth, and it's people that filled a void, you know, that I used as, all right, Charlie is obviously someone that I can look up to and I can model my life after and just see the way he talks, see the way he lives and move towards this. And Charlie, your support of me over the years, I can't tell you enough how grateful I am.
You just got to enjoy life because it's, you know, the short time we're here.
I'm with you.
You just can't let it kill you. I wish I was in better health, but I'm not. You know. But I guess my life's going to end before my mother lived to be 96, 95. I'm 82, and I don't think I'll make another year. You know, I don't think I'll make another year, but Sue and I are together every day, and we talk together, and we dine together. You know, the kids come over, Chuck comes over all the time. Every time he comes, he brings me a new pillow.
Has he?
He said, he gets these gel pillows. You know,
Yeah.
try this, try that, try something else, you know. He always comes around and fixes and moves and whatever needs to be done. And they come to dinner every Thursday night. And that's the contact you got to keep. You got to keep them. They always say that families there's a matriarch or a patriarch within the family that keeps it together. One that has them over for dinner and the one that gets everybody together to talk and that type of stuff. And you need to maintain a lifestyle like that. Especially when you get to be with your children. When they get to be older, this is going to be a great experience for you.
I'm excited.
To have older children that you can talk to. You can actually have a conversation with. That takes a little time, and then the conversations are kind of silly, and then they get kind of, wow, is that nuts? Type of conversation, but after a while it works out. So I got my cord out here.
That's okay.
But thank you, Randy, for coming out to see me today.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity, Charlie. When I saw you and Sue at the winery, I just my mind was instantly at the willow tree, talking to you at the willow tree, and what you did for me that day, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Because you said you may have asked me one little piece of what would you do, Randy, and you asking me that question, I thought, Charlie's asking me?
Yeah.
Randy? No. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for believing in me, Charlie. I'm grateful.
Well, I do. And the winery has become a place I can go to because I have an electric wheelchair. I can get out and smell the breeze. That's a very nice setting there. I can't drink much wine. I tried some of your sweeter wines. I got a couple bottles of those because my palate's not too active these days. I miss that wine. I couldn't begin to tell you how much wine we've consumed in this house through the years and how many different wines we've tasted through the years in this house. We always had a bottle or two, and at every meal we had our wine. You know, and we paired wines and foods a lot, tried stuff. The thing I learned at cooking school, more than anything else, the art of seasoning. You know, because the course was broken down into broiling, sautéing, braising, grilling, baking. You know, and we would come in, and for example, the structure there would have a table full of chickens, and we would cut up chickens, and then We had that for dinner, but we learned how to cut up and truss a chicken. And the dinner was always, at the end of the day, the dinner was always wonderful because they always had a cheese that I never tasted before. And they always had a wine that I hadn't tasted before.
Oh, wow.
Because I discovered in New York there's a place called the Gourmet Garage.
Oh.
It's down in the taxi garage area. They lift up the garage door and the thing is full of these wondrous fruits and vegetables and all that stuff, you know. And we learned about a lot of that stuff. I haven't made a souffle since I learned. You know the people from Antelau. You know them, don't you?
I don't know. What's it called? Entelau?
The restaurant was out in Wind Gap, or Delaware Water Gap.
Oh, yes. Yep, I remember. Up there on the left, heading up the hill.
He's was trying to renew my. He comes over and makes. Taught me how to make a roux for estouffee. And he'd come over and make small souffles, so I could learn how to do it. And he's very sharing that way. Michael, that's his name, right?
Yep.
Michael Nelvey. Those were the days. But
Charlie, I'm proud to call you my friend.
And I'll second that.
I'm so grateful
I'll
for you,
second
Charlie.
that. I'm glad.
Sue, really love you.
I'm glad.
God, thanks for letting me come out today.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Yeah.
This has been a process because we dug out this morning. I used to have a bunch of sayings, stuff that I hung on my office wall. Ma, would you get that one on the tortoise? I'll give it to Randy. You remember where you put it? Because I had, my son did some, he's very good at graphic writing, what do they call that?
Calligraphy.
He's very good
Right.
at calligraphy. And he used to do plaques and stuff, you know, for me. John James used to frame everything for me in the old days. I don't know who the rules of the tortoise. There was a guy way back who wrote about the tortoise and the hare and how the real winner is steady, wins the race. I tried to find online what his name was, but I read a number of books by him. They all kind of have a catchy theme. They take one idea that you could write on a term paper and they turn it into a 300-page book, saying the same thing. If we can find that, I don't know. Because we dug out all of these reminders, because I had the office wall covered with calligraphy and sayings. But you got to keep your spiritual self going.
Yeah.
You got to keep your spiritual self going. You know, I got that through my renewed ministry. I'm the one that talked Ralph Chubbick into going in. You know, he was a bump in the log in our church, and
that's funny.
You know, and I learned about him, and I said, you ought to go to licensing school and become a pastor. And he did. He's pastor at Toby Hanna Methodist.
Wow.
And he is leaving though now because his wife is not well.
Gotcha.
But the spiritual journey, I've always said we're all on a spiritual journey. You know. You take that with you.
Wow. The Tortoise 5-point scoring principles. Wow, Charlie.
I'm not sure who wrote that book. I can't find it. Who was the tortoise? The guy wrote a book about that.
Wow.
Take it along and maybe you can get some inspiration from it.
Big time.
Hang it where you can look at it.
Charlie, just on the way here, I'm talking to Ralph about what topics should we, write presentations on. You just gave me 15.
Yep, there you go.
Thank you, Charlie.
There you go. But
wow.
Keep your promises. That's one of his things in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Once they're made,
you pointed right to it. Don't make promises that you can't keep.
Yeah.
Once made, keep them.
Only do your best.
Don't
do your best.
become lax. Play every point as they were to match point. Wow.
This is a good one down here.
Avoid premature celebrations.
Yeah.
Wow, you're not through until you've, dotted all the T's and crossed all the I's. And the check is cleared to the bank.
Yeah.
Wow, right?
Yeah.
I was just having that conversation with someone that was calculating commissions before. They go, be so careful. I've never seen that work out. Calculating how much money I'm going to make when this happens. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do the math.
But some people are very good at that. Working based upon an idea or based upon. I lost myself again.
Yeah. Well, based upon straight commission, planning that.
Yeah.
Right. And
I don't. My daughter, for a while, got tired of the food business, and she went to selling Amish-made log homes.
Neat.
Out in California.
Wow. Yeah.
In Georgia, she was selling them, and she was on commissions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was feast or famine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And people don't plan with it. They get a time when they get rush of money. They can't leave it alone. People they can't leave their money alone.
Mm-hmm.
I took mine and just put it in the annuities and,
let it sit. Right.
Let it sit.
Let it sit. Yeah.
And you need a good financial advisor.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that, Charlie. I'm with you on that.
You need a good financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a good attorney, I know.
Oh yeah, good old Dick James. I love that guy.
I'll tell you, mine was Bill Kramer. I figured out if he charged me for all the stuff he did for me, I wouldn't have a nickel.
Charlie, you were telling me before we sat down, you would have an idea, tell Bill Kramer, you would go, are you crazy? And a couple weeks later, okay, let's do it.
He'd say, well, he felt obligated. He said, that's a nutsy idea. But he would come around and say, well, I can go with it. How do you want to do it? That's basically what he was.
Yeah.
But if you get somebody, I don't know if they make attorneys like that anymore.
Right.
Because
such a good point.
Yeah, attorneys aren't based on, business attorneys like Bill are based upon negotiations and honesty and, those principles. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you don't go to court, you settle it with people otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great stuff, yeah.
I remember a lawyer telling me that if a case gets before the jury, you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You may have the best case in the world, but you can lose it fast in front of the jury. Mm-hmm. And then who gets the money? The lawyers.
Yeah. I know, without Dick James in my life, I don't think the winery ever would have existed, the Star Medical never would have existed. Dick was he was always guiding me without me knowing he's guiding me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But Bill and I had several arguments about.
Really?
Yeah, my foolishness, I guess you'd call it.
That's something. Wow.
But that.
There you go again with.
If you have people like that in your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know who wrote that book. I tried to look it up today. Mm-hmm. That was one of the first motivational books that I read.
Really?
The tortoise principle.
Yep. I'm going to look it up and I'll find it.
And then Wayne Dyer said I read everything Wayne wrote from Pulling Your Own Strings. I think it was his first book.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow him,
I will. Each
one of his progressive books became more and more religious. Mm-hmm. God became in there more and more. Before Pull Your Own Strings, that you're in charge of everything. All the way up to God's in charge. Mm-hmm. That's a lesson some people haven't learned, and it's very hard to do that because the pastor comes and visits me and he says, "Well, Charlie, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, I know it, I believe it. Mm-hmm. It's hard to accept it. You get into these periods of, what would you call it, doubt and, where you question your faith. And to get a handle on it, like right now I'm going through that, I don't know what God expects of me at this point. I gave up my last project. I was doing a newsletter at the church, putting my poetry in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to, I couldn't do that much anymore. I may try to start it up, you know.
Mm-hmm. You ever get mad at God?
Huh?
You ever get mad at God?
Yes.
Me too.
I can't understand why certain things happen the way they do, but, you know, there's always people involved that, it's like rain today. Rain today screws over your business.
That's ever.
But there's some guy out there growing melons that's thanking God for the rain.
Wow.
I had one of the things I wrote, the wind. You like to hear it?
Sure. Absolutely.
I am the wind, I am the breeze, I am the storm. I am everywhere, I am nowhere. I am calm, I am strong, I am the destroyer. I carry the rain of spring and the snow of winter. I carry the aromas and flavors of the seasons. I dry the fields and cool the grounds. I move the clouds and scatter the seeds. I flicker the flame, echo the sounds, and lift the birds. I am the cool of the morning and the chill at night. I am in your face or at your back. I mess your hair, forecast the weather, ruin your umbrella. I am spirit, I am breath, I am notion, I am message, I am here, I am gone.
Wow.
Think about a wind, you don't know where it comes from, you don't know where it's going.
Right. Right. Exactly.
It just is.
Wow. Man, Charlie.
It just is.
Man. Can I keep that?
Yes.
Thank you. Wow. Wow, Charlie.
Thank you, Randy,
Man.
for making my day.
Oh, man.
It's glad to see that at this point in your life that somebody values your opinion and your...
Holy cow, Charlie. You have no idea. You send chills over my body because
I don't know.
when they called me when you guys were at the winery, I ran. In my meeting, I'm like, I gotta go, and I just ran. And you know, to have you take the time to come out and say, hey, where's Randy at?
Yeah.
I'm back at the Willow Tree.
That's a place to hang out, your winery.
Man, thank you, Charlie.
And you're doing good work.
Thank
there.
you.
You're doing extremely good work there. You've got some Cabernets, like Godfather.
Thanks,
I've never
Charlie.
tasted better.
Thank you, Charlie.
You know,
Thank you, Charlie.
Regardless of the price.
Right. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you.
And your people are wonderful.
Oh boy, right? You know, it's that saying my mom used to say to me. She'd go, Randy, like attracts like. Be careful who you are.
Yes.
Like, so
That's true. That is so true.
Right.
That is so true. But you have some people there that are really outstanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't deserve them. They're so spectacular. They're that great. My gosh.
I try to keep handle on who's there and how they're doing and what the work is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a challenge. I said too, if I ever did anything else now, I do it alone. I didn't want to deal with payroll tax returns.
Like that. There's some truth to that, you know. But you know, it's funny the way you talk about Sue without Tiffany. It wouldn't be. I mean, Tiff does all the payroll stuff, all the tax return stuff. I mean, I talk about Tiffany in the underground experience, and people always go, "Wow, Randy, this is amazing, great job." I go, No. Every business, it's kind of like an iceberg, and there's that little bit above water that everybody sees, and I'm that little piece. But then there's this giant piece supporting the little piece, and my wife represents a giant portion of it. People, you know, like Rick Mikesel, you know, Mama T, the servers, Jeff. You know, I mean, without them, you know, it just wouldn't be. You know, it's.
Are you going in the food business eventually?
Well, you know, I do it as a compliment to the winery, like the pizza.
Yes.
The pizza works because it's a compliment. I don't see myself ever going into just the food business as far as a restaurant because
Ace does good food.
Aces does great. Yep, Al and Aaron, great stuff. Yeah, they got it going on.
You must be his biggest customer. How many people does he serve there on a Friday night?
Well, out in the summertime, there could be 1,500 people that come out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I have seating for like 3,000, so I have more seats than I do parking. So I know we'll never run out of seats. And yeah, there have been some summer nights where Al's served about 1,000 plates. You know, and It's so weather dependent because it's outside.
Yeah.
Hopefully this summer we get a lot of great Friday nights, and it's like magic.
We haven't gone back since. We were one of the early ones when everybody ate in the wine room.
Yep. When it was just the little room
And
there.
we used to get there an hour early and drink a bottle of Chardonnay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Crisp and clean, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't realize you'd be giving me gifts, Charlie.
Well,
I'm coming here thinking my goal here was to soak you in, Charlie. To see, it was to basically capture the essence of a life well lived.
I don't know if I've captured it yet.
Well,
Now, this period of this is a very difficult time, as sick as I am, to find positive.
mm-hmm.
The only thing I can think about is the things I don't have. That I say, God, thank that I'm not diabetic or something,
Mm-hmm.
But He's going to decide, I guess. He's going to decide where I'm going to be and when. I've written quite a lot of stuff about that, by the way, my death, and I wrote my own obituary.
Really?
Yeah. That's an exercise I learned in, I think, Marywood, that we used to write our own
Write your own obituary. The Bible says you're better off going to funerals than births.
Yeah.
You learn more.
Yeah.
It's you've lived your life with pretty much not much fear, and today I would say that you're not afraid of dying.
Yeah. Well, it's not afraid. It's the unknown. The question is, why am I surviving?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to have to change the batteries on my pacemaker here in a couple weeks. And every time I have a shock or something, I end up in the cardiac intensive care unit, which is, I'm not going back there again. Torture with all of the IVs and stuff,
Imagine.
because they want to save you. But I'm alive today because of a medical miracle, which is this pacemaker. Because I'm 100% pacemaker. In fact, my heart controls my heart 100%
Wow.
of the time. And how long have I had this? 15 years or?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I've had it quite a long time. And
Wow.
I've had a lot of good years that I could have, if I hadn't had defibrillators and pacemakers, I would have died. My father died of a heart attack in his sleep. So I assume he's probably had the same thing I have. But the hardest thing for me right now is to eat. Food don't taste good.
Really?
It's got a lot to do with medicines and stuff
Yeah,
that
I imagine.
you take, and I have a hard time keeping my weight up
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
So Sue makes a lot of soup.
So
Vegetables, full of vegetables.
I love you, Sue. Thanks for being part of my life. Really grateful. Man.
Thank you.
Yeah, really grateful. Charlie,
Thank you.
so grateful for you.
I'm
Sure.
glad. I'm glad.